welcome back to my channel, Planning with Bree. I am Brianna Kechelle, and today I am going to be setting up my 2023 bullet journal. Right now I'm just showing you the colors that I will be using, and I'm going to be using some of these papers out of the paper pack that I got from Joann's. I did do a mini haul on all of these things, including the journals that I bought and the paper packs, where I do a quick little flip through so you can check that out. Now I'm just showing you the Pinterest pictures that I collected and printed off. I will link my Pinterest board below so that you can check those pictures out if you would like. So I cut out all of the Pinterest pictures and I just set them to the side for now. The first thing that I'm going to do is put a picture on that front cover. I was going back and forth between this picture of the model Iman and then those other two models, but since Iman, I hope I'm saying her name right. Is it Iman or Aman? You know who I'm talking about, the model? I think it's Iman. But I chose this picture because it's so vibrant, and I believe that I am in a vibrant mood this year, especially to start off, given the colors that I chose to use. A lot of vibrant colors. So then I write my name on that page, and I'm just removing these sticky notes that I use to remind myself of what each page is. And those two sticky notes said to glue those two pages together. So that's exactly what I did. This next page is going to be my future log, as well as the page that says the purpose of this journal is for blank. I have really enjoyed writing out my intentions for my journal. I will say this now, I'm trying to say it at the beginning of my videos, but sometimes I forget. My bullet journal is basically just a bullet journal because it is a dotted journal, which allows me to be very, very free with my creativity. That is the only thing about my bullet journal that is a bullet journal. I use this journal for mental health, creativity, keeping up with my prayer life. Well, I have a prayer journal for that, but sometimes it goes into this journal as well. Keeping up with my habits, my moods, and things in between, everything in between. So basically, I like to call this my structured diary. I don't do planning in this journal at all, really. I do have a planner, so that's where all of my planning for work goes if it doesn't go on my phone. So I just wanted to go ahead and get that out of the way so that you understood the setup of this journal. Now, I am going to do a future log. That's what I'm doing right now because it is very helpful when I am setting up my habit trackers, because I like to do meeting calendars when I do my habit trackers, and it's just so much easier to have it right here on the left hand side. If you're someone who likes to do a future log, I would advise you to do it on the left hand side. You've probably already heard that tip before, but I am also only doing 6 months because after doing a bullet journal this is my 3rd year now, I know that I am going to be moving into another journal in July, and I just don't want to write out 12 months if I'm not going to use it. So I am just writing out the 6 months, January through June, and putting a title at the top. I use the same type of header where the last word in the title is written in hand lettering, and then everything else in the title is written in small font. So I wrote 2023 future log, and I wrote log in hand lettering. In 2023 future, I wrote those in regular font. So now I'm trying to figure out what font to use for the titles of the month. For some reason, I always mess this page up. Always. Like my January, I try to write it in a certain font, figure out that I don't like it, and then it ends up being something totally different. So yeah, I always mess that page up. Now I'm just writing the heading to my next page, which just says the purpose of this journal. And I am going to use these lined pieces of paper to write out my intentions for that journal. This next page is going to be for the themes of my journal for the year. So now that I'm thinking about it, maybe I should have only done 6 months. But what this page is for is so that I can draw a snippet of each theme into the designated box. So right now I'm just drawing out the letters or the numbers for 2023 in various colors that are a part of my color scheme. I will say that I am using a lot of different colors. So the 3 colors that you see right now are basically a dark mustard, which is what I'm using now, a tan that has a red tint to it, and then a dark burgundy orange color. So those are the 3 colors on this page. And then at the bottom, I'm just going to use my pen to write in monthly themes. And then I'm just going to outline the boxes that I already have penciled in. So these rectangles are of various shapes and sizes. They are catacorner to each other. They're not perfect, and that will just make the page a little more interesting when all the themes are filled in. So these next few pages are going to be Dutch doors because this is the layout for my goals. First, I am going to start with my level 10 life spread. If you don't know what level 10 life is, I am going to explain it very quickly. Basically, the short version is that you pick different categories of your life in which you would like to operate at your absolute best, which would be at a level 10. So if you were to take these categories and rate yourself on how you have performed, or you can even do your growth over a period of time, from 0 to 10, what would you give yourself? And this is just a helpful tool to look at how you are performing in the areas that you feel are the most important areas of your life. So right here, I'm only doing 4 areas. In the past, I have done up to 8 different categories. And the only reason I'm doing 4 right now is because I have 2 other journals that will include the other 4 categories. So right now I have friends and family. That used to be 2 categories, but I just lumped it into 1. So I have friends and family, work, God or my spirituality, and then lastly, my mental health. Those are the things that I feel are important to keep in this journal or keep tabs on in this journal. I really am trying to get better in these areas. As you can see, I scored myself pretty low in a few areas because I don't know if I'm being hard on myself or if I am just truly looking at an overall bird's eye view of how I have been compared to how I want to be. So you can do these spreads however you would like. I do have a video on it, and then I can also leave some other videos down in the description. So after you have identified your score, I would break them down into these categories. So I'm going to have a focus for this year. Like, what do I want to focus on? Maybe I would focus on reaching out to family and friends more, since that is a pretty low score. And then let's say for the small changes area, I would then put calling people. Now I have an alarm set in my phone so that I can text a family member or call somebody on a certain day and time. And that may sound, I don't know, it may sound weird, but if that is something that I want to change, I have an alarm to do everything else in my life. Why not have an alarm to text the people that I care about, you know? One area is called the barriers, like what is stopping me from reaching level 10 in the areas that I would like to be higher in. And then the last category was maintenance. What do I want to maintain? And since I scored a decent score in the work category, that would be my maintenance category. Like, what would I do to maintain an 8 in the work category? So yes, that was the level 10 life spread. I hope I explained that well enough for you guys to kind of track what I'm saying. I have a few videos on this. Like I've said, I even have a video on like different creative spreads that you could do. And I mean, I'm just going to pat myself on the back. They're really cute. But of course, you know, if you want to go ahead and check them out, or you can look it up. And there are some great ideas online if you want to look up how you could do a level 10 life spread for your journal. So these next pages are going to filter through the lens of the level 10 life spread. So this page that I'm doing right now is excluded in that. Right now, I'm just doing a collage. I love collaging now. I just really think it's a good way to bring my colors together. As you can see, my color scheme is yellows, oranges, reds, blues, and blue greens, which sounds like a lot of colors, but that's just how I was feeling. I just felt really colorful. And I know I keep saying that. I'm going to have to find another word, but right now that's what we're going to use. So I am cutting out this slip of paper and coloring it in that light minty teal green color because my word of the year is actually going to go on that piece of paper. I am going to come up with my word of the year closer to the new year. And I know, the new year is literally less than 2 weeks away, but I have a few words that I want to put there, but I haven't decided concretely on the word that I want to use. So that is blank for now, but I will fill that in. If you are not following me on Instagram, and if you've made it this far, please go ahead to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. I will put my Instagram handle on the screen. It is Brianna_Kechelle on Instagram. You can also follow me on Pinterest. I don't even know if people do that anymore, but I actually really like Pinterest. So, check me out over there as well if you would like. So this page that I'm doing right now is just my 2023 goals page. Down at the bottom, I am going to list 4 to 5 goals. I usually stick to around 4 goals each year because that's like all I can handle. Because some of these goals are really, really big. Some of them are small and some of them take a long time. But these are the goals that, like I said, stem from the level 10 life. And these are the goals that will help me come up with my habits over the year. I'm going to be more intentional about that this year. As we head into the new year, I am really telling myself to make my habits match my goals. Doesn't that make sense? I mean, it makes sense, but sometimes I kind of forget to do it. But this year I'm going to be very, very intentional about that. So this next page is my spread that kind of feeds off of my goals page. So the first section says why, as in like, why do I want to do these goals? The next section is how am I going to do these goals? What are the habits that I'm going to create? How am I going to maintain these habits? The next section is going to be what are my barriers? So just like we did on the level 10 spread, except some things may be a little different. This is more of like a functional barrier, whereas on the level 10 spread, it can be an emotional barrier or vice versa. It just depends on how to decide to fill these out. And then the done by section is basically the date that I complete each goal. This next spread is a spread that I got inspiration from Leela Journals. I mentioned this in one of the previous videos that I posted last week in my 12 days of Christmas, but Leela Journals does not post on YouTube anymore, I don't think, but she has a monthly review page and I loved it. Her journal is just, if you want to see a journal that is just a complete work of art, as in it has the same theme from beginning to end, the color scheme is the same, and it's just a vibe, it's a mood, Leela Journals is really good. I will say that my themes kind of go all over the place. This year I am thinking of doing a theme, but as far as colors, I do not stick to one color palette, and she does. Besides the point, she had a spread that was for her monthly review, and I had it last year. I didn't really complete it last year, but I am dedicated to completing it in 2023. Again, I know this journal is only going to last me 6 months, so I only made enough room for January through June. And then when I do my next journal setup, I am probably going to do the exact same thing. So I didn't even bother putting it in this journal. So this next page is going to be my books spread. This is the spread where I will print off all of the books that I have read this year. Well, when I say print off, I mean like print off the thumbnail picture of the cover and put it here. I will also give my ratings out of 5 stars on this page. So in the end, it should be filled up with pretty covers of books and all 5-star ratings. We can only hope. So on this page, I am going to use the green colors of my color scheme. I'm going to fill in the background with the light mint green, just filling in the spaces in between where I am going to actually tape or glue down those covers. And then I'm going to color in those white spaces with the darker mint teal green. And those darker rectangles is where I'm going to glue down the pictures of the cover. In the top left-hand corner, I am going to color this in with the darkest green of my color scheme. And then I'm going to write in that box 2023 books, just to have a little bit of a title page, and that's about it. I am going to go around the corners of each rectangle and put gold corners on each rectangle, just as like a mini border. And that will be it for the decoration of each rectangle. The last thing I'm going to do is stamp in the numbers from 1 to 16 in each rectangle. I will say that last year, I think, or not last year, this year that we're currently in, depending on when you're watching this video, I don't know, but in 2022, I want to say I read a total of 11 books. It may be more than that because I didn't count all of the romance books that I read on Kindle. I just don't think this is no offense against romance. I love romance, but sometimes I feel like that's not a book. It is a book, but I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. Like sometimes I read them so quickly, I'm like, oh, okay, that was fun. And then, you move on. But I think I read somewhere around 11 or 12 books. This year, I really do want to read about 16 books. Don't know where I got that number from. Maybe I got that number because that's the number of rectangles fit on this page. So I don't know. I don't think there's any sentimental value with the number 16 or anything like that, guys. But I am excited to start reading some more books this next year. I do want to get more into some adult fantasy. If you guys do read that, let me know. If you read more in that genre of books, I want to, of course, read more self-help books. And I think that's about it. Yeah, so I am going to do a touch up on this page right here. I realized that I did not add some color below these calendars, and I really wanted to do that. So I am going to add in the colors below, and this is where I'm going to write any notes about that month or any important dates about that month. That's what I'm going to use this area for, and I just completely forgot to color it in. So that's what I'm doing now. I believe that is the last touch up that I have to do. And then after that, we're going to get into the final flip through, guys. I really, really hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope that you enjoyed this color scheme. I know that it was, sometimes it kind of felt all over the place, but I really hope you enjoyed it. Please make sure to like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.